Today we're going to show you real quick how we do cash by mail, how we give you money by mail. We got a couple packages in right here, just a few packages. This is a small order. So these came in by mail from UPS from somebody in Kankakee, Illinois. So we're going to open it up, we're going to inventory it, go through what he's got, figure out what it's worth, and then we're going to send this guy a check for not only the money, but we're also going to send him a check for the shipping for the items too. So we can oh, it's comic books. Okay, there we go. So we got some comic books here. Okay. Not bad. This is what you're supposed to do too. You're supposed to send me, when you send your stuff to, two things, a couple things you're supposed to do. You always put it with a tracking number on there so you know when your items got here. You don't want to send me stuff and say, hey, where's my box? And I say, where's the tracking number? And I didn't track it. We need a tracking number so for your benefit, so you know when we got the items in. Always put a piece of paper in there too that has your name, your address, your phone number, your email address, and if you want the money sent faster, if you want the money sent to your PayPal account, put right on here, my PayPal account is whatever, and I want my money sent right. Oh. Okay.
That's a safe way to ship.
That's unique.
That's the way to ship.
So the outside box gets smashed, damaged, but the inside box is okay. It's a nice way of shipping. Alright. Here's this guy's collection. Accomplish going every which way but loose. Some are upside down. Okay. Alright, there's some neat comic books. I mean, condition's not great, but
They're decent.
they're decent comic books. So we're going to go through this box. We're going to figure out how much all the comic books are worth, and these three boxes, and then once we're figured out how much all worth, we're going to figure out basically how much we're going to send them. Okay, so what I did then here for this comic book order, we went ahead and we tried to figure out what the comic books are worth. Now we're not going to look up every single comic book, because as I was going through this box, there's a lot of comic books that are real modern, a lot of them that are real modern that aren't worth nothing to us. Collectors don't want modern comic books. We have them on that side in bins by the thousands, and we sell them for 25 to 50 cents each. So there are hundreds of them in here that are very, very common, worth almost nothing. So, I mean, I calculated those too, but we calculate that at a lower price because those are very hard to sell. I mean, if I sell them for 50 cents, I have to get them for about 10 to 20 cents each. But what we did is we went through it and we pulled all the ones that do have collector value, the ones that we can auction off. There's quite a few in here that we can auction off, so those are the ones we paid more money for. For example, here's some of the ones that were graded. This was a Spider-Man comic book. It's not a killer one. It's Spider-Man 37. It's graded at a 6.0. When I looked it up online, in the price guide, it's worth about $100 in the price guide at this grade levels, which is a 6.0. So we're going to pay this guy half of that, $50 for that one. This one is a Fantastic Four, number 53. Again, it's graded not so high at a 6.0, which is about middle. It's okay, it's decent. It's not a killer comic book either, but it's in decent condition. When I looked it up in the price guide, this one was valued at $200. So we're going to give them about half of that, about $100 for this one. And then there's various comic books here that I went through. Some of them are in real good condition, but not as collectible. These are a little older. These are neat ones here, these Thor. But if you can see from the condition, they're pretty ratty. They're one grade short of being toilet paper. See how it's all busted up along the side. I think if we took them out of the plastic here, they'd probably probably the cover would come off. They're decent, they're old, they're collectible, but they're in bad condition. But they're still worth a little bit more than common new comic books. So we assess a value to those. And again, we're going to pay about half of what we think we're going to get from an auction. Then there's some decent other ones in here. There's some X-Men. Some pretty decent Spider-Man in here. Some Flash. Again, we're going to pay about half of what they're worth online. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, #1. In mint condition, this comic book is worth about 90 bucks. This is probably a grade of about maybe a 5.5 or a 6. Probably a 5.5 because it's all busted up on the corner here. So at that condition, it's probably worth 25 bucks. So we're going to give him 15 for that one. This is a Man-Thing #1. In mint condition, it's worth about $80. This one's actually in pretty good condition. So for this one, we're probably going to give him about 40 bucks for that one. So when we calculated in this order completely, taking into consideration the graded comic books, the decent old ones, the decent newer ones, and taking into account all the common comic books, we get a value of, we think we're going to make, basically, once we sell them, anywhere between $700 to $1,000 for these comic books. So we're going to take that, cut that in half, and we're going to give this gentleman a check for $350. So it's $350 for the comic books, plus we figured out the shipping to be around $49. So we're going to send him the $350 for the comic books, and the shipping that he sent to us, because we always reimburse you for your shipping, which is $49. So we're going to send him a check for $399 for the stuff. That's simple.
Cool.
So it's basically as simple as that. As simple as that. You send us your stuff in the mail. Put a tracking number on there so you know we got it. Once you get it, make sure you put something in there that has your name, address, phone number, email address. You can put an inventory on there if you want to. You don't have to. Put on here if you want to get your money by PayPal. Make sure there's ways that we know we can contact you in case we have any questions. If you want your money by PayPal, put your PayPal account. And then what we'll do is, again, we'll go through it, figure out how much it's worth, how much we're going to get for it. We'll cut that number in half, give you a fair price, and then figure out what the shipping was. If you know what the shipping was on here, you can write it on here, and we'll send you the check for your items, plus the shipping, and it's as simple as that. Send it to us, we'll calculate it, and send you the money right back to you.